The Pittsburgh Penguins had another embarrassing loss on home ice, losing 6-1 to the lowly Utah Hockey Club. Hi, I'm Dan Kingerski on the Pittsburgh Hockey Now YouTube channel. We're in the Pittsburgh media room tonight. I guess I have the place to myself. Everyone else was smart enough to go home early on a Saturday night. Penguins are off Sunday, and you get the feeling things are going to change. Big things are going to change because they simply cannot continue about the path they were on. Make no mistake, on Saturday night, the team quit. They started on Friday night in the tank and then maybe had a little spurt of life in the third period, but on Saturday, they again were in the tank, and this time they just absolutely quit. Now, that points to the coach. A lot of zealotry demanding that I specifically rip Sullivan and call for his head. I honestly don't think there's a need to. I think it's becoming so patently obvious that something needs to change with this team. If Sullivan is to be relieved of his duties, I feel like this weekend is the time it's going to happen. There's several days between games. They have off on Sunday, if it's going to happen. And I'm not convinced that FSG is going to pull the trigger on a huge contract, bear in mind. Those are the things working in Sullivan's favor, having a pretty hefty contract, having a lot of trust from the ownership group, and also being a pretty good coach. He's pulled every lever, pushed every button with this team. It just, quite frankly, is a bad team. It lacks heart. It lacks cohesion, and probably no coach could pull that all together. Having said all of that, at some point, something has to change. You cannot continue to be embarrassed on home ice by inferior teams. You can't watch a team quit as the Penguins did again. That wasn't the most embarrassing loss of the season to Utah, but it was just another embarrassing loss. We could go down the list of players who are not performing to capabilities. Erik Karlsson is probably on top of that list. Evgeny Malkin has gone a bit ice cold since Sullivan broke up the Malkin-Crosby line to try to get some balance in his lineup. But therein lies part of the problem. The Penguins have a lot of AHL players on their roster. The Penguins have a lot of players who are not performing to past standards, who are looking more like the players who were cast off last season than reclamation projects that the Penguins hoped they would be. That list is a handful deep. So what do you do when a team really can't compete? Several players on the team clearly seem to be recognizing that fact and performing accordingly, not providing enough intensity and heart and give a damn. You know Brian Rust is going to bring it every night, and you know Sidney Crosby is going to bring it every night, but even Crosby seems to be somewhat overburdened by the knowledge this team can't compete. You can just feel it in the locker room. Alex Nedeljkovic sort of ripped into the team tonight. He spoke truth to power. He wasn't great on Saturday. Couple of iffy goals allowed. But clearly, I think he has earned the right. In fact, I'm going to read you his quote here. Here comes Alex Nedeljkovic's quote. He really had some pep. He had some fire in his words tonight. He was just like, we got to move on. I don't know. That's the only way to move on. It sucks. It sucks. I mean, I don't know. The only other way I can say it is like, if we want to stop feeling like this after games, we want to stop getting embarrassed at home, like, do something about it. I don't know. If we pay a price, do something. Feel something else, like anything else. Those were Nedeljkovic's words in the locker room following the loss, and it's about time somebody said it. I know some people around the organization were kind of excited that somebody finally popped off. Make no mistake, working the locker room, it's silent. It's a morgue. There is a settling acceptance of mediocrity. There is an acceptance. There's almost a powerlessness, a hopelessness with the team. After 23 games, this is who they are. They shouldn't be. But it's a bad mix of players. It's enough things have gone wrong that they almost expect them to go wrong. Now, you can say, fire the coach, and you're not wrong. I think 31 other teams would have made that move by now, but like I said, there are also some things mitigating that position, and I'm going to just be as fair as I can till the end. I wonder. I suspect that this weekend might be that big decision. Or there are options. There are ways that the team could get better, and quite frankly, some of those ways they can get better, addition through subtraction. There are plenty of players, a few high-priced players, one in particular, not pulling their weight. If getting rid of a lackadaisical player, a casual attitude, would that help? With getting some defense on this team. Clearly, the blue line is not good enough at any facet of the game. Collectively, as a group, this might be the worst defensive core in the league. Individually, there's some talent, but collectively, they're terrible. And reworking this, would that help the team? I tend to think so, but is it possible? These are the things that I think they must be being wrestled with in the general manager's office. If they're not it's a dereliction of duty. Kyle Dubas is building for the future while trying to maintain some competitiveness on the NHL roster. However, he has failed in the competitiveness part of that. Will he spend some effort and resources on that? That's the big question, isn't it? You can say fire the coach, but no one's going to make chicken salad out of the Penguins' defense. So that's where you stand. I'd like to tell you some definitive conclusions. I think I've walked you to the line. I've taken the horse to the pond, and you can tell me what happens next. That's it for me. Have a good weekend. I will do a No Pucks Given podcast sometime on Sunday so that you can listen to it Sunday evening or probably maybe on your way to work on Monday. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, or the one person who keeps giving me the thumbs down. You got to tell me why. Of course, every time I say that, I see 3 thumbs down. I appreciate you, and I'm sure you're laughing as you do it. I got Kingerski. Watch this. If we can't laugh, well, what else are we going to do with this team? That's it from PPG for this weekend, where the Penguins get outscored. I don't know. I can't do that kind of math. I forget what the Winnipeg score even was. Was it 4-1? Was it 6-1? Was that 12-2 they got outscored? Yeah, it was pretty bad all around. Take care. Have some fun on Sunday. Watch some football and eat, drink, and be merry.